This video is taken from the Faber Follow Along piano course, and it's a technique that helps newer pianists move away from this claw or hook hand at the piano. This causes lots of extra tension and prohibits you from creating a really smooth, beautiful professional sound because there's so much tension. It also might be keeping you from playing at quick tempos. So we're just going to use a 5-finger pattern ascending to work on this technique. I would suggest playing in either C or G on the white keys. Let's begin creating a more fluid and relaxed motion. These things that I'm going to have you do might feel awkward or silly at first, but just go with it. Make the motions extra big to get the feel for it, then work on producing a more refined and compact motion. So, sit at the piano with a good relaxed posture. And let's start with the elbow of your dominant hand. And so for me, that's my right. Place your fingers on the keys in a 5-finger position that's not in the center of your body, so a little bit away. And pretend they're lightly glued to the keys. Now begin to gently swing your elbow from left to right, then return back to your starting position and swing right again. You won't be making a straight line back and forth, but more like a half moon shape, up and out, and try to make that motion as graceful as you can. Now, the rest of your arm and hand naturally move with the elbow. So all I want you to do is continue this motion, but now turn your attention to the forearm as it moves. Then the wrist, and notice how it also moves out and then up slightly. Then the palm, that also moves out and up. Let's add an in-between movement. So after you lift out and up with the arm, lift the wrist even more to return to the starting position, and then repeat. So when you put these motions all together, it's almost like your elbow is stirring a pot of soup. Now, let's add some fingers to this. You're not going to hear me say this very often, but it's okay if it sounds sloppy at first. I want your fingers to stay mostly relaxed rather than using them like tense hooks or claws on the key. Just focus on keeping that circular motion from the elbow as you lightly and probably sloppily play, and lift back to your starting position and repeat. Now, when that feels good, begin experimenting with weight and pressure in the fingers. I want you to find the least amount that you need in order to cleanly play one note at a time. Now, it's probably less pressure than you think. It helps me to think of my fingers as supports rather than the actual muscle that presses into the key. So imagine that your fingers are almost inanimate, like a pencil. A pencil completely supports your weight and can easily press a key down, but itself doesn't have any muscle or action. So it's a range between active finger pressing and passive support. So experiment with all the ranges in between until you find that fluid and smooth motion with the clean playing of the notes. Eventually, this technique will enable you to play faster, smoother, and all with less tension. I'll quickly mention that for your opposite hand, it's the same concept, just opposite. So for my left hand playing an ascending passage, it's that same motion with the elbow coming towards me. Whenever the elbow comes in towards the body, the motion is naturally smaller because your body's in the way, right? But still the same concept. So I hope this zooming in on one particular technique was helpful for you today. You can apply this in all of your music with slight tweaks. This stirring the pot with your elbow. It will create a nice, smooth sound. So let me know how you end up using this technique and if it really changes your playing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.